Hello, World Tank Blitzers. It's a Littlefinger. Happy Friday, October 23rd, 2020, and it's time for my Friday store review. Unfortunately, I'm having to record this Thursday evening as I will be out of town Friday. So hopefully not much will change in the store between tonight and Friday. So I've got the Annihilator pulled up here because let's face it, this is one of the tanks that you can buy for $10 essentially, giving you the Pyroleum trailer. Now you're going to have to put some legwork in because you've got to get to level 45, which means that you have to complete daily missions. The Pyroleum container gives you some additional 30 additional levels, plus it gives you extra missions for 200 for each one. So you're going to have to complete missions to work your way up to level 45, but for $10 it's certainly doable, and you get everything else in the way of the Raider. Plus, I would say this tank is arguably as good as the Smasher right now, and I've done a full tank review on it. Make sure that you have checked that out. All right, so let's jump into the store. There is not a whole lot new in here. A lot of containers, and you know my thoughts on containers are not strong. But let's just go through them anyways. You've got Mad Tank containers. Each of these, and there's a couple of them, you get 6 here or 2 here, and then a couple more here for basically 1,000 per container. And what you're getting a chance at is a 10% chance at either a Smasher, Gravedigger, Tankenstein, or Scavenger. And that's 10% per container. So it's really not a high percentage, obviously higher than the 5% that is fairly typical in these. What I do want to point out is if you already have one of these in your garage, the Smasher, Gravedigger, and Tankenstein will be 1,000,000 credits, and the Scavenger is 500,000. I would stay away from these, and I would rather focus my $10 on the container that I just showed you and work your way up and get the Annihilator. All right, so I did a full tank review on the Tiger 131. Actually, it was a comparison of the Tiger and the Kuro, but this is a really good deal for those of you that are looking for a tier 6 heavy tank. It's 30 days of premium, all 9 garage slots. 30 days of premium alone is 2,000 gold. So, you know, it's a really good deal for a solid tank. It's not OP in any way. It's just a solid, fun, authentic tank. All right, so moving on to the camos. This is still only a 10% chance of dropping camos, plus you don't necessarily get the tier that you might want to put it on. So the lower the tier, the higher the chance. The radioactive is only a 10% chance. The burning mad is 44% chance, and the salvage scrap. So I take that back. You will get a camo out of this, but the downside is it could be for a tier 1 or tier 2 tank. So again, use the way of the Raider and get those camos through it. Moving on, you've got the bundle here with the T55A and the T44-100. It's a lot of gold for these tanks. I would pass on it. And primarily, here's why. T55A at 10,000 gold equates to $28. This was in sale, I believe it was maybe February of this year, for $15 straight up. So it's almost twice as expensive in gold right now. So I would hold off and wait for this to come back at a lower price. The same with the T44-100. While this is only $14 for a tier 8 premium, the mod 1 is certainly much better. You know, to me, it is just not worth it at the moment. Also, the VK, it might have dropped off by the time you watch this. But again, for 20,000 gold, it is just too expensive right now. Wait for it to come back for a lower price. Again, I wouldn't waste gold on these camos. And the rest of these, the mod 1 here, is for tournament coins, season coins, I think they're calling them. So you have to play in tournaments in order to get those. So like I said, not a lot in the stores right now. I'm hoping as we get closer to Halloween, we'll get some good deals. And then, of course, November and Christmas, there's always some good deals with an auction and whatnot. But here is probably the best deal right now, believe it or not. The PZS35. Now, I'm looking at this from a perspective of the fact that you get 7 days of premium time, and as we scroll down, as soon as you buy this, you can turn around and put the camo on it and then sell it for 13 25 in gold for $3. That works out to be over 400 gold per dollar. And as we say, anything over 350 is a good deal. So just buying and selling this is actually the best way to make some good money right now in the game. We've got containers for the Lycan, the Helsing, and the Dracula, and if we look, there's only a 5% drop of each of these. These do come with charms, so you have to get, I think it's 25 charms. Yeah, 25 certificates. Well, it says in there somewhere. So again, you're going to have to buy a lot of these, or you're going to have to get really lucky to pull one. So I would stay away from that. The Conquerors Power is back. This is a really good deal. I work it out to be approximately 440 gold per dollar when you factor in that you've got 37,000 gold here. Plus, you're getting 500 gold boosters, which is at a minimum 5,000, maximum 10,000, based upon the way those boosters work. Not that you're going to win all 500 battles, so you're going to obviously be in there somewhere in between. I calculated it for someone with a 60% win rate that plays tier 7 only, that with 500 boosters would equate to 7,000 gold, so that would be $44,000 for $100. Throw in the fact that you get 90 days of premium time, and 15 garage slots. So a lot of slots for those of you that are still grinding tanks and need to get garage slots. Obviously, you can get those from some of the daily containers, weekly containers, and whatnot, but this guarantees you some room in the garage for future growth. And actually, I am thinking about purchasing that, and I think that'll set me up for a long time. Obviously, put me up over 100,000 gold, ready for some new fun premium tanks. As we go down here in price point for these, the deal isn't quite as good. So, I would say if you could pull off the $100 one, if not, pull off the $50 one, and this one is probably not near as good of a deal. All right, moving on to even more containers. Again, this is a bundle of 9 containers, 3x3. I would just try to stay away from these containers. I know they're tempting, but try to get these tanks on a guaranteed deal. 3 days left on the Panzer 58. I'd stay away from this, even though $12 is not bad. For everything that you get in this is just not a fun tank. It is just plain and not. It's not a tank you're going to pull out frequently. All right, so if we move on here, we've got a bundle, the Reliable 7. This is some really good tanks in this deal. All with very different play styles. So if you're looking for premiums that are going to make you credits that are a little different from each other, this actually isn't, for $5 each, too bad of a deal. As you can see, separately they are $7. This one comes with the Panther M10, probably the hardest of the group to play. It's just not that mobile, but it does have a super accurate gun. The AT-15A, which I have read is going to get a DPM boost in the next update, so that should help out with this tank. And quite honestly, AT-15A just does not have as big as hatch as all of the AT other tanks, and it does have really good armor. So to me, it's the best of the AT tanks. That is not saying a lot. The M6A2E1 is a big American heavy tank, tough to play. It's just hard to hide the sides and the side cheeks. And then you've got the HTC, which as a TD that with some really good armor. Have to play this on flat surfaces. You don't have gun depressions, but it's got a really nice. The turret doesn't rotate, but it's got a really nice arc angle on it. So again, unique play styles there. Moving on, Spear and Seer. This is just a flamethrower that goes off at the beginning of the game. If you think of the Eraser with the drone that flies out at the beginning of the battle, that's basically all this is. $3. It's a little gimmick. Maybe fun to have it on one of your favorite tanks or something. But apart from that, more and more and more containers. And finally, just a couple days left on the Predator and Vindicator. And my thought process here is that I would pass on both of these. Unless you really, really, really wanted one, I would go with the Vindicator. And I've done reviews on both of those, so make sure you check those out before you buy them. And of course, the War Chest, this is what Armored Pants and I will be giving away, one each, to lucky contestant when we announce our Halloween videos. This is not one of them. So with that, guys, going to wrap up the review of the store October 23rd. If you got any questions, please leave them in the comments below. And with that, have fun out there. Stay safe, get educated, not fingered. Littlefinger out.